I grew up in Alabama, or lived there till I was 13 on a cotton plantation. My dad was always a sharecropper, so we moved from place to place there and grew cotton. And we picked it by hand. The main thing I remember was just always getting up early and getting out to the cotton patch. And we had gardens, we had potato patches, we had cornfields. Moma'd make hominy. I don't know how to do that. She'd make lyso, and that stuff would eat your hands up if you didn't rinse them good. My oldest brother, in the late 30s, he moved his sawmill to Tennessee. That were the good old days when we came through Chattanooga with the Tennessee River on one side of the highway and the railroad track on the other one. I thought, we must be going to heaven. And we got to Grandview. That was our post office. And as a young 13-year-old girl that hadn't been to towns, I thought Grandview would be great, which it was to a degree. In the early 40s, the men at the sawmill, as men will, were talking, and someone knew that Gone with the Wind was coming to the Palace Theater. So my brother stopped the mill, he stopped the ones that cut the logs, and he stopped the ones that hauled the logs to the mill, and he had a flatbed truck, and he took that full of women, children, and men riding on the back of that truck to the palace. I wonder if anybody thought, there surely comes the hillbillies, which I guess we were hillbillies, but we were proud. We was poor, but we were proud. We began to go to a little Baptist church after we moved up here, and that's where I met this young man with jet black hair and beautiful blue eyes, and of course he stole my heart. And in 1943, we were married. We had 4 sons. The little house we lived in, we built it, and later years we added on. I've had 9 grandkids, 10 great-grandkids. They all are so great, and I love them children. Well, one of my granddaughters wants to know how Grandpa proposed to his grandma, which my name is Lemma Hayes, and of course I was called by Pastor Lemon. But anyway, Holman, when he proposed to me, he said, I'm going to change your name. So I thought, well, my first name was so odd. I said, are you going to call me Lee, and he said, no, I'm going to call you Hayes. And I didn't know he was proposing, but that's okay. We got married and we lived like 3 days, being married 53 years when he died. And he's been dead now, going on 17, and I still miss him. And at times, I cry. We walked from where we live to this little Dogwood Baptist Church.
So that's where you guys would go on dates, at the church?
Yeah, honey, do you remember when Grandpa died and we rode in the hearse to the church there? Mm-hmm. And I said, oh, this is where we courted. And Hank said, Grandma, what's courting? One of the things that's so great, Hank blessed our food. He said, I forgot, I don't know how. And Loretta said, Hank, put your hands together and you bless the food with your little hands up. It's so cute. Just about, 5, 6, 7. And Hank, on that 50th anniversary tape, it has Grandma Hickey, Ann Lee, Arnold and Viola, Joe and Billy Joe, Pack and Lou. I think I have counted 16 that have died since that tape was made in 93. Hey, we've had some good times. You're gonna see on this tape, honey, just how happy everybody was. And the very end, it's you and Scott playing ball in the front yard. You've got your little bat dancing around like a little 5-year-old. I didn't see that, dear, but we fed each other a bite of the cake, and I held my hand under Holman to keep him from dropping crumbs. Chester Holman Hayes is the oldest. He was born February 1946. Chester has 2 daughters and a son. Lonnie Eugene Hayes is her second son. He is born November 29, 1950. Lonnie has 2 sons and 1 daughter. Hubert Lee Hayes, born 1953, May the 23rd. He has 2 daughters, 1 son. Jerry Hayes was born November the 10th, 1955. He has no children, so with the 3 older boys, we have 9 grandchildren and 10 great-grandchildren. So we're happy, table full when it comes reunions. It's to stay close to the Lord. That's the happiest place you can always be. And You need him. He's never asleep. So day or night, go to him and he'll be there. That has always been my crutch to lean on, if that's a good way to put it. I was saved here at this little church, Griever's Chapel Church, in January of 1948. I was baptized in Fall Creek, down at the Fall Creek Bridge. The pastor that baptized me, my sister-in-law, and niece that day was preacher George Ashford. And that was in January when we had cold weather. Probably, or shivering, but we had a big crowd there. My mom and dad was there, my husband, our oldest son, and Mr. Hayes and Miss Hayes, my father-in-law, mother-in-law, and Martha Lee, my sister-in-law. My oldest brother and his wife was there because Gladys, my niece, was baptized. I don't recall how many of Viola's family was there, but I'm sure her daddy and mother at least was there. That's what my mother's side of people were. They called themselves homeless. They had foot washing, and they had dinner on the ground. You know, the homecoming, they called it dinner on the ground. They'd get happy and shout that long hair down, hairpins would be flying in the church floor. We went from house to house. Somebody would have it like this Sunday, and then a volunteer would be the next Sunday, and everybody that could go would go to that house. Yeah, she picked that thing up, and she started speaking in tongues and picked that snake up. Well, when she put it down in the middle of the cotton rows, honey, that snake's head was up above the cotton, however high it was growing. And
did it go down there?
I thought, well, in later years, power of the Lord was on that snake and he got away.
It scared him, didn't it?
Yes. I'm sure Charlotte wants me to tell. She asked me one time, Grandma, don't that get on your nerves, them stopping and starting a sawmill? And I looked down in them blue eyes looking up at me, and I said, honey, it don't bother me. I was raised by an old mama lion in a cotton patch. She always thought that was great. Her grandma was raised by an old mama lion. Have you ever had field pea sausage? Okay. My mama used to take clay peas and she'd make pea sausage. It had the sage, the hot pepper, and the salt, and the black pepper. And she'd work that up with an egg and a spoonful of flour and make it out into sausage-sized cakes, fried, and you put that in a good wheat biscuit on a cold morning, and it was delicious. It just tasted like sausage. I haven't eaten pea sausage in a long time. Well, I can remember hearing my mama and dad talk about that. Of course, I was born in Depression, but not ever, honey, being spoiled to whatever. It was just the way of life with me. But I heard my dad tell one time, the cotton farmers down there, the boll weevils were so bad that a lot of their cotton was damaged, and I've heard him say that a lot of the farmers didn't know if they'd make it because that was their cash crop. The corn, honey, they grew, that was to grind and make meal. Well, different ones had wheat that made your biscuits. And, of course, they had hog or two they'd, raise, feed, and kill. That produced the lard and chitlins, which I never learned to like chitlins. I ate the sow's meat. I don't have anything of this world, but I'm beyond rich, honey, with the family I have. I lived through that.
Tell us.
I am. It's kindly sad because my husband growed up like I did. When our sons come along, of course, that long hair took their eye. Well, Lonnie's hair's kindly curly, so it wasn't that bad with him, but Hubert's hair was straight, and I did, and I've regretted it because I'm going to tell what happened. It broke my heart, but I kept on, and Holman took Hubert one Saturday and got his hair cut. Well, he wanted it left long, and I wanted it cut because I thought men were supposed to have short hair. Women had the long hair. But anyway, when Holman got back to the house with Hubert, and they were coming in the front door, Hubert looked straight at me, and I could see that hate, that hurt in his eyes and face. He said, "I hope you're happy now." Well, that just broke my heart. Well, after that, me and Holman said, "Okay, boys, if you want that hair long and it grows till it drags your tracks out, we're not going to say anything." But yes, the boys were looked down on with that long hair. It was hard on me and Holman. Our oldest son was in Vietnam, our 25th wedding anniversary. Of course, both of our sons come back intact, which we were thankful, because a lot of young men around us didn't get back, and of course some got back crippled. What touched me one time deeply. I was in Crossville with Lonnie and Teresa and Joshua, and this young man come up to Lonnie and shook his hand and said, I want to thank you for what you've done. That was touching. When Chester and Lonnie come back, honey, you know, them soldiers wasn't recognized. And I heard a young man from Crab Orchard said, we were spit in the face, rotten potatoes thrown on us, and eggs. I don't think either one of my boys experienced that, but Chester did tell one time about this young man from Westville that he knew that when he got home, his mother had his bedroom fixed up, welcoming him back home. His bed nice and new and all of that a mother likes to have. And he couldn't sleep in his bed. He slept on the floor. Well, I spoke of that one time. And Chester said, Mama, don't condemn him till you go through what he has. And I said, oh, honey, I wasn't condemning. I was just telling what I had heard. Oh, honey, did we ever, or yes, see, in Alabama, dear, colored people lived in little houses and picked cotton right along by us.
So you were in the cotton fields with them?
Yes, and to me, what the ones that I knew were great people. We moved up here, honey, 38 and 39. There was no colored people allowed in Cumberland County. There used to be a one-room school down here at Dogwood. Straight down that road to the left, there was somebody got after this colored person and running all the way that road. That was an old coach road years ago, and run him. They each one were on foot, but whoever the guy was running this colored guy, he run till he come to this like deep ditch. Well, he jumped, and of course, when he hit bottom, it killed him. Oh no, we went to church with everybody like that. White kids and colored kids went to school. I never heard of no trouble. In my dad's work, this wagon turned over with him, cart-type wagon, and broke my dad's leg in 2 places. But this colored lady come every day and help my mama with my dad, turn him over, and whatever need to be done that mama couldn't do by herself. And she just thought the world of this lady. And my mama, there's a new baby born at this colored house, wasn't far from us. My mama took care of this lady, colored lady, and she kept telling me and my younger brother, said, I'm going to take you some morning and let you see this little colored baby. And that was, you know, we looked forward for that, and we got to go. Yes, honey, we rode stick horses, which he had the horse. I rode the broom. Well, he always led and I followed. If he looked around, he wanted that broom up and down, you know, like your sweet wheel. If he looked around at me and saw that broom laid over, well, no, put your horse upright. And we played marbles. We played Pokemon.
Poker?
Yes.
I taught you how to play poker.
Yes, you did.
Now, growing up, were you allowed to play cards?
Oh, no. There was no cards, honey, in our house. No, that was...
So your grandkid taught you how to be rebellious.
Yeah. Yeah. Lord, I pack it on my grandkids. I wanted to please them. We got along great. One morning at the old house over here, Hank come into this crash door. And he said, Grandma, throw it in the floor. Said, it'll fly apart, but you can put it back together. Well, I threw it down, and it didn't fly apart. He picked it up, and he said, Grandma, throw it hard. Well, I throwed it hard. It flew to pieces and never could be put back together. Years after that, he got me a crash dummy. And I gave it back to him 2012, right? Mm-hmm. And he wrote on there what happened. And I wanted to write and tell him all them things like that was my diamonds, my pearls of great price, all of that. Oh, I was 87. That was last November when we went to Pepsi-Cola and got Monica. My first experience, I left them a little note, the best I could write. They had paper. Of course, what they said, put your complaint on this and leave it at the front desk. Well, I wrote and said, I'm 87 and this is my first time ever spending any time in a motel. I said, it's so beautiful here, it's so clean and quiet. And I wrote my name, my age, Rockwood, Tennessee, and put my address and thanked them. But I left it in the room. I didn't take it to the front desk. When you and Sydney got married, that was my second motel. Down there in Florida, honey, where we stayed at the Helton, they had, well, we went to their lunchroom and ate. You could see the squirrels running around. They had an outside pool, and of course they had guards. I'd have to draw straws between Lord saving me and my marriage. But to me, they're two peas in a pod. Because, you know, when the Lord has forgiven you of his sins, you're walking on air. When you marry, you're up there you're walking on air. You're so happy. So I'd have to put them two, like 2 peas in a pod. A great event is when your children are born or your grandkids. And it just, I love it. It roll up into a ball as one happy ball.